we have a dynamic here when, after these rallies today, once again, certain people in Washington will say, "What Tea Party? What are you talking about? We didn't see anything." Let them continue to lie to themselves, because they're done lying to us. What you're doing, it does not require their acknowledgement. As a matter of fact, I prefer the Lisa Murkowski response of, "I don't know what happened." Let a lot of people say, "I don't know what happened in November," and let them say it in 2012 as well. Wake up and smell the tea. This is not difficult. We have a sign here, November 2012, my first choice is to change it back. Yeah. Let me just conclude here. When I look out at all of you, is as an American who is grateful, and I know all of you are as well, that I wake up every morning in this country. Yeah. This did not happen by accident. This happened because God's generous hand knew that if humanity and this planet was going to survive, it would take you. And in times of crisis especially, other people in the world, a world that is struggling with tyrants everywhere, America has always stood up for real hope, real liberty, real justice. To this day, we accept more immigrants than every other country combined in the world. We are the most generous, we are the most free, and we are not going to have anybody in the name of anything change that. And the difference is that Americans, because we are different, we're not rolling out the guillotines. You are not necessarily marching. I think, well, the crowd in DC is going to be undeniable again. You will have a very quiet revolution, as Americans do when we vote. You have quiet revolutions at the dinner table as you explain to your children why you came here today. You have quiet revolutions with your friends over drinks. You have quiet revolutions as you give back golf's good name by taking golf back. Can't wait for that. We will have quiet revolutions that the left may not understand, but we will save their lives and their futures whether they like it or not. So regardless of how you're going to vote or who you don't like and who you do, this is an emergence of community. The same kind of community that the founders imagined, the kind of community that has taken this nation through horrible events in the past that we have survived and prevailed on. If we can survive the fascists of Europe with weaponry from World War I, if we can survive monster war machines that are aimed at us as we were a young nation, of course we can survive the American left, and we will survive politicians who got much more obsessed, too obsessed with themselves, as they have forgotten who it is they work for. And you know, we don't need them to acknowledge that they're out of step. You now need to just proceed knowing that you are right, that no matter what anybody says about you, and here's what I can tell you as the former leftist organizer as I close, never doubt who you are and who you come from and who you represent. The moment you think you're going to cede some ground to the left, step back, have your friends with you. But bottom line is, and I know with you being here, you already know this, you are first and foremost, when you look at the diversity of this crowd, the power of being Americans first. Washington doesn't understand it, but they will. And we've got a chance to send a message back to George Washington and all the founders and Abraham Lincoln and to every extraordinary soul who has died on a battlefield, believing in that last breath that it was worth something. You've done it for them. Let's not stop. You keep going. Do not blink. Do not question. Trust yourselves and take back this country. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tammy Bruce. I know she said it's a quiet revolution, but that's not a quiet woman, is it? Big round, Tammy Bruce, everybody. Man, I love that. It gives you hope, doesn't it? You know, being here today gives me hope. I've had the chance to wander out in the crowd. That really is the best part. We had never done anything like this before. I mean, this is huge. When you look around you and you see all these patriots out here, it takes a lot to put together an event like this. It takes a lot of expertise, experience, people, and it takes funding as well. And there are organizations that have stepped up to help us with these things, and really no organization more than the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. You guys familiar with those guys? My earliest political memory goes back to Proposition 13. Anybody out there love Proposition 13? I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, and I remember it was like there was this buzz going on, this political war about property rights and about protecting individual property owners from this politically. And there is somebody who is a hero politically in this movement, and that is our own Congressman Tom McClintock. Big round of applause, everybody.
Let's be honest, there are more pleasant things to do on a beautiful day like this than to come to a political rally. We're all here today not because we want to be, but because we sense we have to be. We're doing what Americans have always done when we've sensed our country's in danger. Ever since the days of the Boston Tea Party, in times of crisis, we've set aside our personal lives and we've risen to confront whatever danger has threatened us. We don't wait for our leaders to act. We act ourselves and then tell our leaders to lead, follow, or get out of the way. That's how we preserved our liberty through 9 generations. Abraham Lincoln once posed this haunting question. He asked, "At what point shall we expect the approach of danger? By what means shall we fortify against it? Shall some transatlantic military giant step across the ocean and crush us at a blow? Never, never. All the armies of Europe, Asia, and Africa combined, with all the treasure of the earth, our own accepted in their military chest, with a Bonaparte as a commander, could not by force take a drink from the Ohio or make a track upon the Blue Ridge in a trial of 1,000 years. So I ask again, at what point shall we expect the approach of danger? I say if it ever reaches us, it must spring up amongst us. It cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and its finisher as a nation of free men. We are destined to live forever or to die by suicide. Today, this generation of Americans has arrived at one of the great turning points of our history. Upon the outcome of this struggle is nothing less than the question of whether America will fade away as yet another failed socialist state, or whether this generation of Americans will rescue, redeem, and restore the founding principles that once made the American Republic the most prosperous and successful in the history of the world. It's now been 19 months since the inauguration of Barack Hussein Obama, with all of the hope and trust that the American people placed in him for our future. Well, think about what's happened during these 19 months, and think about how far our country has strayed from what Thomas Jefferson called